What's up, dear students, and welcome back to a new video. Now, in the previous video, we learned how we can add two vectors together that are parallel. And we also learned how can we add two vectors that are perpendicular to each other. So just to remind you, we had parallel vectors like that, okay, with the same direction, or sometimes we had them with different directions, okay, or like this. It doesn't matter. We learned that we should add them together and we can find the resultant vector, okay. This is when we have two parallel vectors, okay, with no angle between them. Then we also learned that if we have two vectors that are perpendicular to each other, meaning they make an angle of 90 degrees. Let's say this is A and this is B. The resultant vector was from A to B. This was the resultant vector, okay? The names or the letters don't matter. You can name them anyhow you want. Now, how can we find the resultant vector here? We were saying C squared is equal to B squared plus A squared, or A squared plus B squared, doesn't matter, okay? Then to find the direction, this is for finding the magnitude, okay? For finding the direction, we were using theta tan inverse of B divided by A, okay? Or opposite divided by A. Opposite divided by adjacent, sorry. Now, this is how we added two vectors together, okay? In this lesson, we will be studying something different, okay? These two cases, we don't have what we call one vector and we are trying to find the direction of that vector. We always have two vectors, okay? In this lesson, we'll be learning about that. Let's imagine, okay, by the way, all these explanations you see here, all of these explanations, I'm going to just explain them. I'm going to explain them now very simply. You don't have to memorize all of these, okay, just to solve questions, okay? If you want, if you're real curious, you can study them, okay? But this is just the same content or the same thing that I'm going to explain now. Now, let's say you have a box, okay, and you are pulling this box with an angle, okay? You are not pulling like this and you're not pulling it like this, okay? You are pulling this between X and Y, okay? Look, if you represent this on a coordinate system with X and Y, let's say this is Y and this is X, okay? If we draw this vector, it's going to be like this, okay? This is the vector, okay? We only have one vector. Now look, guys, let's give it an angle, okay? Let's give it an angle. Let's say you are pulling this box with an angle, let's say theta is equal to 25 degrees, okay? 25 degrees. If you look at this vector, guys, it is not on the x-axis, okay, and it's not completely on y-axis too. It's in between, okay? So how can we find this? How can we find the unknowns here, okay, or what the question is asking? Let's say v, which is the velocity of this object, is going to be 25 meters per second, okay? Just for the sake of understanding. Now, whenever you have something like this, a vector which is making an angle, we are going to analyze the vector into two components. Why? Because it's not going up and it's not moving on a straight line. It's in between. Okay, so the two what we call coordinates, or the x and y axis, are both contributing to the motion of the object. Okay, so this is going to be like this. This is going to be my x coordinate, okay, and this is going to be my y coordinate, okay? Or we can say this is going to be the x component or the y component. Now, I'm gonna call this Vx. Why did I say V? Because we are talking about velocity, guys, okay? Then I'm gonna say this is equal to Vy, okay? This is Vy. Now, how can we find Vx? Because we don't have them. And how can we find Vy too? It's very easy, okay? This here, you see, is just basically what I'm going to explain. Now, you see that this angle is closer to which axis? To x or y? It's closer to x-axis, guys, this angle here, okay? Theta is equal to 25 degrees is closer to the Vx or the x-axis or the x component. So I'm gonna say, let's write this in a different color. Let's use this color. Okay, now I'm gonna say Vx is equal to, because it is closer to this one here, to the Vx, so I'm gonna say Vx is equal to V, this one, multiplied by what? Oh, you don't need multiplication. V multiplied by what? V multiplied by cosine theta. So cosine theta. You will say, why did you use cosine for Vx? Because the angle is closer to Vx, guys. Okay, now Vy is equal to what? I'm gonna find this now. Vy is equal to V sine theta. Teacher, why did you use sine? Why not cosine? Because the angle again is closer to the v-axis. Okay, not, or we can say because the angle is made with the x component, okay, or the x-axis. Okay, this is how you find Vy and Vx, guys. Okay, most questions are like this. I'm just going to ask find Vx and find Vy. Okay, now let's have another example this time. Okay, because it's not always the case. Let's take another example. Let's say this time we have also a vector like this, but this time the vector is making an angle with the y-axis. So theta is equal to, let's say, 20, or 20 is too small for this. So I'm going to say theta is equal to 50, okay, 50 degrees. The velocity of this object is equal to, let's say, 30 meter per second. Or it can be 30 kilometer per second, doesn't matter. Now, you have to analyze this vector into two components, okay? This is going to be x component, so I'm going to call this Vx. Guys, by the way, let me just mention this. If this was, for example, distance, so distance is equal to, let's say, 25 meters, I'm going to call this dx, okay? So whatever the physical quantity is, use the symbols or the units accordingly, okay? So this is Vx, and this is, let's say, the y component, which is Vy. Now, guys, Vx is going to be what? Let me use this color. So Vx is going to be what? It is going to be V, you say it, not cosine, careful, because the angle this time is made with y, okay? The angle is made with the y-axis, guys, careful, okay? So this is going to be V sine theta, okay? And Vy this time is going to be V cosine theta, okay? This is how we find the x component and the y component of the vector that we have, okay? Let me say this in Kurdish too for those students who have difficulty understanding English. الدرس الرابع بردو باسي ومان كرد كدو فيكتور تان هبي مونمنا اگر parallel بون بو شێوەیە وەکو لەسەر وەش باسم کرد ئەگەر parallel بوون ئەو کۆیان دەکەینەوە باشە بەپێی نیشانەکانیان بۆن ئەگەر west بوو دەبیتە negative ئەگەر east بوو دەبیتە positive ئەگەر north بوو دەبیتە positive ئەگەر south بوو دەبیتە negative باشە ئەوەتان لەبیرە وەگوتیشمان ئەگەر دوو vectorمان هەبوو perpendicular بەسمان چییە؟ perpendicular بەسمانەوەیە گۆشەی 90 دروستەکە an angle of 90 باشە گۆشەی 90 چمان بەکاردێنە Pythagorean theorem وەکی دەمانگوت c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared ئەومان بۆچی بەکاردێنە بۆی بەکارماندێنە کە ماگنیتیود بدۆزینەوە باشە بەڵام ئەگەر direction بدۆزینەوە چ بەکاردێنین ئەگەر بمانەوێت ئاراستەی vectorێکی بدۆزینەوە دەڵێن theta یەکسانە بە tan inverse b divided by a okay ئەوە بۆ دۆزینەوەی magnitude و لەگەڵ directionی two perpendicular vectors باشە لەو دەرسیدا باش شتێکین ئەگەر یەک vectorمان هەبوو بەڵام ئەو جاریان vectorەکە 90 نییە و parallelish نییە بەڵکو ئانگڵێک دروستەکە ئەو جا ئانگڵەکە 80 بی 40 بی 50 بی 30 بی 4 بی 6 بی doesn't matter باشە گرنگەوەیە کە parallel نییە و 90 degrees نییە باشە ئێستا چ دەکەین یانی دەڵێن با بڵێن ئەو نمونەی سەرۆکە هینامەوە v مان هەیە یەکسانە 20 متر لەسەر ترکە ئەوە دەڵێن ئەو vectorە دابەشەبی بۆ two components دابەشەبی بۆ دوو component باشە لە کوریدا پێڵێن پێکنەر دابەشەبی بۆ دوو پێکنەر componentێکیان xە پێڵێن x component ناوی لێ دەنین vx باشە بابەجێن componentێکی تکەشمان پێی دەڵێن vy باشە y component ئەو جا دوایی لە پرسیاردا بۆتان دەرەکەیک و حەل دەکەین ئەگەر گۆشەکە ئانگڵەکە لەگەڵ vx بوو یانیش لەگەڵ x component بوو ئەوە دەڵێن v cosine theta so vx is equal to v cosine theta of y دەبیتە چێ y دەبیتە sin theta بەڵام ئەگەر ئانگڵەکە لەگەڵ y بوو ئەو دوو یاسایی بەکاردێنین دەڵێن vx ئەو جارێن sin theta v multiplied by sin theta بەڵام وایەکە چی لێدێ وایەکە دەبیتە v cosine theta باشە ئەوەی کە لێرە دەبینێ و شەرحە هەمووی ئەوەی کە تازە باسم کرد پێویست ناکە ئەو هەموو شتێک بخوێنی بزانی کو ئەوەی دەربینی بۆن vx یەکسانە بە v sin theta و vx یەکسانە بە vy sin theta پێویست ناکە ئەوەی کە تازە پێم گوتی هەر ئەوەندە هیچ تێدا نیە باشە something else guys I should mention is that whenever you have the mentioning of two directions let's say these are the directions we have west we have east we have north and we have south let's say the question says south of east okay let's say the question says the object is making an angle of 25 let's say angle is equal to 25 of southeast now how do you know where is south of east so this is here you know this is south and this is east you know that the vector is going to be between them okay now where do you put the angle do you put it here or here okay guys you take the second direction so it says east so I'm gonna say the angle is made here so theta is equal to 25 let's take another example let's say it says west of south so you know west of south okay west of south which one is mentioned secondly so it is south so this is going to be the angle okay so you get the whole idea let's solve a question guys okay it says find the components ما بس find the components ما بس x and y okay of the velocity so it's going to be vy and vx okay find the components of the velocity of a helicopter traveling 95 km/h at an angle of 35 meters to the ground 35 degrees to the ground okay now guys let's draw this so we have what we have an airplane okay this is an airplane v is equal to what it is equal to 95 kilometer so 95 kilometer per an hour okay 95 kilometer per an hour now guys we had the angle is equal to 35. Now, you'll ask a question, how do you know is the angle made with x-axis or y-axis? It says what? To the ground. Okay, guys, whenever it says to the ground, it means x component, careful. Okay, x component. Okay, this is the ground. X component is the ground. Okay, so the angle is made with the x component. So this is going to be 35 degrees. Okay, now, like I told you, analyze this into two vectors. This is y, and this is x, this is y. So this is going to be vx, this is vy. Okay, it's really important that you know the angle is made with which component, with x or y. Okay, let's solve this now. So we have vx, which is equal to what? It is equal to v cosine theta. Why did I say cosine? Because the angle is made with the x component. So this is going to be what? We have v, it's equal to 95 kilometers per hour multiplied by cosine of 35. Okay, the result is equal to 70. This is this has been changed into meter per second, but this is wrong. Okay, this is kilometer per an hour. Okay, kilometer per an hour. Okay, so we have 77.8 kilometer per an hour. So this is equal to 77.8 kilometer per an hour. And let's check. Let's see if we are correct. So 95 times cosine of 35. Yeah, we have 77.8 kilometer per an hour. Vy is equal to what? Vy is equal to v sine theta. Okay, v is equal to what? It is equal to 95 kilometers per an hour times sine of 35. Okay, so let's do this. We have 95 times sine of 35. So we have 54.4 kilometer per an hour. This is sample problem 2b. Okay, let's move on to the practice 2b. It says, how fast must a truck travel to stay beneath? Okay, so it needs only the truck's velocity. Okay, beneath an airplane that is moving 105 kilometers per an hour at an angle of 25 to the ground. You see to the ground? What does that mean? It means x-axis. Careful. Okay, so the angle is made with the x-axis. As you see in here, I don't have to draw it. We have this. I'm sorry, let's draw this in black. So we have this, which is the x, and we have this, which is y. Okay, now this is the speed of the airplane. This is the speed of the airplane, v, which is equal to 105 kilometer per an hour. Okay, now you know this is the x component, which is vx, and this is the y component, which is vy. We know that the angle is made with vx, y, or the angle is made with x-axis. Why? Because it says to the ground, so 25 degrees. Okay, now let's find the components. By the way, I don't have to find vy. Why? Because I need the truck's velocity, and it's moving on the ground. I don't need y, okay? I don't need the y-axis, so I'm going to find only the truck's speed. Okay, so vx is gonna be what? It is gonna be, you know, v cosine theta. V is equal to 105, and the time is cosine of 25. Okay, let's multiply this. Okay, so you have v 105 times cosine of 25. We have what? We have 95.1 kilometer per an hour. Don't forget, please. Okay, 95 kilometer per an hour. Okay, what is the magnitude of the vertical? This time it's asking of the vertical velocity of the airplane in item 1 above. Okay, it means question 1. We need vy, so vy is equal to what? it is equal to V sine theta. V is equal to 105, and then times sine of 25. Okay, so 105 times sine of 25. We have what? We have 44.3 kilometer per an hour. Okay, this is Vy. Question 3, I'm gonna leave that to you. Okay, it's the same thing, guys. The angle is made with the ground. Okay, the angle is made with the ground. You have the speed. Okay, and this is going to be the y-axis, and this is going to be x-axis. Okay, x and y. This is Vx, and this is Vy. Sorry, this is Vy. Oh, sorry, I mixed it up. So this is Vy, and this is Vx. Okay, so Vx is equal to cosine V cosine theta. Why? Because the angle is made with the ground. And Vy is equal to V sine theta. Multiply them and that's it. Question 4, really important. It says, what are the horizontal and vectoral components of a cat displacement? Let me raise this. Of a cat displacement when the cat has climbed 5 meters directly up a tree. Okay, directly up a tree. So look at here, the question has been too specific. So we have x component and we have the y component. Let's say this is a cat and it is going up. It says directly up a tree, so no angles. Okay, so this is equal to what? This is distance, by the way, so d is equal to 5 meters. Okay, now what is the horizontal component? So it means dx is equal to what? And dy is equal to what? It's really easy. Okay, is the cat using the x-axis to move? No. Okay, so dx is equal to 0 meters. Guys, what about dy? dy is equal to what? It is equal to 5 meters. Okay, the cat is going up, so I'm gonna take only delta y. Okay, or only y. If it was going like this, I was going to only take the x-axis careful. Okay, now this is it for today. In the next lesson, we will be talking about something else. What if we have two vectors and they both have two different angles? This time, what are we gonna do? I'll see you in the next video, and don't forget to solve question 3. And if you had troubles with it, please comment below. See you in the next video.